Welcome in to the Dice Dragons Guild. In this hall, we unite under one banner. Live by the die.
Die by the die.
Oh,
Okay.
that's not
Okay.
good.
High energy. All of us.
It is a rainy day.
It is.
Nobody got their vitamin D.
Nope. You stare out across the vastness of the green tides.
She's looking at me.
Today, its name betrayed by the bright light from the woven suns, emphasizing the various shades of blue reflecting from the sky. You hug yourself as you take in a deep breath of the fresh air and let your feet sink a little further into the white sands on the beach. Solitude Sands. The perfect name for this area of the beach is east of Summerland. You are not the only one who knows about this spot, and you know it won't be long before you're found. But that's okay. You're just delaying the inevitable anyway. Today is the day the warriors return from their mission. Many weeks after the attack that took the life of Zara and saw Iononia and Chiron abducted. You don't know how much time passes before you hear the familiar swishing of your mother's grass skirt approaching from behind you. You always knew when one of the mothers was coming. The ceremonial skirt made from the local tall grass, dried and woven, was not very subtle. Wordlessly, she steps up beside you, her tail wrapping around yours, her version of a mother holding her daughter's hand. You stand there silently, just both looking out over the crashing waves, not saying much of anything. And she waits for you to break the silence.
I was not expecting this to go first. It was foolish. All my fault.
You say that just looking out into the waters.
Yes.
She doesn't look at you directly, just again staring out. And she says, Ayla, it is never our fault when someone does something harmful to us.
So someone out there on a jet ski.
It's an ATV we're going with. One of the other tieflings.
He's out in the, you see like, how they that water comes out of the top that they like the water exhaust. It's like.
It's hard to be sad when you're on a skidoo.
It is never our fault when someone chooses to do something harmful to us.
It is our fault when we do not heed what we have been taught our whole life.
We only ask that you be careful. You are in the city. You are surrounded by friends. It is not your fault. It is not your fault. If you leave your home unguarded and someone comes in and steals your items, it is not your fault for having left your home unguarded. It is their fault for being malicious. It is not your fault if someone attacks you in the street when you are out having a good time.
I don't know.
I know I will not be able to convince you of this. You will have to You will have to come to terms with this on your own. But I want you to know, no one believes that it is your fault. These people chose their path of violence, assault.
I still should have known better. Listened. Taken the teachings more to heart. After all, I was the oldest of them, by far.
Your mother turns to you at this point and puts her hands on your shoulders and then turns you to face her. You are, and always have been, a spitting image of her. Even as she is 20 years older than she would have been had you not disappeared all those years ago. You see all the wrinkles in her face, her hair as white as yours, lacking the blue streaks at this point. She just stares in your face for a moment. You are the oldest of them, but you are still a child. I know you wish not to be, and that day will come. But you are all children. You did not deserve this, and it is not your fault. But I am here to tell you that the warriors have returned. And we have good news.
Tell me.
Iononia has been found. Both of them were found. The Mist Spirit clan rejoices this day. Chiron lives, and we are very grateful for that. We thank Iara for that. The warriors were unable to reach her. From my understanding, she was within an arm's reach.
So she is still gone.
Yes, she is gone. But she lives. And for as long as she lives, there is hope.
And what guarantee do we have that she will live?
The warriors say that they found Iononia and Chiron with thread hunters. The good and the bad of this is thread hunters of this type work for money.
Did they make these hunters suffer?
I was not there. The goal was to find our children. Vengeance is not ours to give. We look to Iara for that. But if they are thread hunters, that means they are searching for coin. It is more likely that someone like Iononia, someone like yourself, someone like Chiron will be worth more, much more, alive than harmed. And so I believe she lives. I believe she will live. She is strong. The kind of life that she will live, I do not know. But for as long as she lives, we have hope.
Very well, Mama. If that is what you believe.
Is that what you believe?
I do not know what I believe yet.
Chiron is of the Hollow Moon clan. We will continue to have hope while you work on building yours. I ask that you present it to others outwardly. I do not know if we will be able to send another clan of warriors to go find her, as this mission was really mostly successful due to our alliance with the Callian army. They have the resources. We are a small, nowhere village on a vacation island. Without them, we would not even know where to begin.
I suppose that is true. And you always taught us to be self-sustaining, but we do not have a navy.
No. And self-sustaining to a point. You always need those around you to succeed. At this point, she turns away and she looks out at the ocean. Perhaps one day we will be able to send people across the green tides to find out where they took our Chiron. We will work towards that goal. If I am unable to fulfill it, she looks at you. I hope you will continue and keep that hope and never give up the search for her.
I will never forget her, and I will search for her.
I've been thinking perhaps it will be good for you to see more of the green tides. Get off the island. Go to the city, take a boat, take a ship.
I do not think I am ready for that.
You are ready. I have already begun speaking with some of my contacts at Moswick. It will be good for you to go back. You cannot hide here because of what happened there. And I encourage you, once you go, get on a ship,
But
see the world.
I don't know. I don't know.
The more contacts that you make in high places, the better the chances that we are able to find Chiron.
Oh. Maybe. I will go back to the city next week. I am not ready to leave the island just yet.
Okay. I will not push you hard yet. But tonight, you look and you see that the Woven Sons are on their, they're on their way out. It is starting to become past noon and more towards the evening time. Tonight we will celebrate the return of Iononia. We will keep it simple for her. She has been through a lot. We will celebrate the warriors and what they have done. They have very mixed emotions. From my understanding, Chiron was there. She was within their reach, and they simply were not able to grasp her.
Yes.
And so, of course, Iononia returning home is very wonderful and something we will celebrate. The Miss Spirit clan has regained a member. We have already mourned the loss from the Night Feather clan. And so we will also keep our hope for the Halloween clan.
Yes, Mama. Of course. You are wise. That is why you lead here.
I will leave you to your solitude.
I will be back for the festivities.
Remember, this was not your fault. It never will be your fault. Has never been your fault. And we will keep hope.
Yes. Okay.
She leans in and gives you a kiss on your forehead, like leans back, just kind of doing that very motherly thing of taking you all in, this image of you at this age, like searing it into her mind. And then she just pats you on the arm lightly and swishes back through the green jungle that lines the outside of the sands of this beach, leaving you to face outward, looking over the green tides. And as you stand there staring out over the ocean, you are brought back to the present by a hand resting on your shoulder. You just kind of blink and look, and there's Iolite standing to the side.
I'm glad it's not you and not the dead guy.
Different scene. I could have done that. The different scene that is facing you as you again blink and look. It's much windier. The sea a lot rougher in front of you. All of the jagged rocks where the Solitude sands. There is clear waters. The smell much different. Smell of a bloated body with flies flying all around. The furthest thing from Solitude as you look at Iolite and then look back and around and see Eldon and Kai, Kethra, Kyra, and Theratrix and Nyx standing on the beach. As you all have gathered at the Wailing Coast to the north of Yimari Island, or on Yimari Island, this violent, jagged seascape in front of you, the debris from a rowboat of some kind smashed in the rocks, and a body that you fished out of the water staring up at the sky, glassy-eyed. You've learned on your journey to try to find the wine-tailed langurs that it appears they, after their attack on their sanctuary, went to the north, or at least that's where common sense took you. It's the only close place where someone would foolishly dare to approach this island.
Nobody recognized the tattoo, right? I think I asked that last week.
It was a cloud with a bolt.
With a bolt of lightning.
Yeah. Dark cloud filled with lightning bolt.
And you stand here looking as you realize, much to your dismay, that it appears likely that the monkeys have been taken. To where? As you stand looking out over the ocean, everyone's guess is valid. And now you must decide what to do next.
They are gone.
It's too bad we couldn't take that tattoo with us.
I mean, we can still.
Just take the home. Just gonna was it gloving, I think is what this called.
Like, it's one of those. I mean, he won't feel it.
Yes, they took them. What for, though? To where?
What, and although it's stupid train of thought, what is directly that way? What?
So, directly north.
What empire lays beyond the seas?
Directly north directly north of Yimari Island is Kalia. But hundreds of miles.
Right. It's very. It's not like they sailed direct, but it's a.
I mean, you really don't know.
Where my mind goes. You're from there, right?
No.
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 Emporia.
Yes.
Which would be that way.
Let me pull up.
From where you're looking.
So we're here. So this way is Kalia, and then the other way is.
You are here.
Look at that.
Right in the dead center of the green tides. This is the Kalian Empire.
There's another little island right next to us.
This
Safety.
is the
Safety.
this is the Cassian Empire. And this is Emporia, Aprana, Devenia, Medea, Ushesh.
I would hate to live there just to have to say that. I'm Husheshian.
I will have to double check on my notes really quickly. Hold on. The islands to the east and west of Yimari are. 1 second.
What do they call them? The Cinco Muertes? The 5 deaths
Yeah.
in the movie?
Are you guys both from Devenia?
And you're from Kalia?
I'm from
Or
Cassian Empire,
Cassian.
like the coast.
Oh, okay.
Yep, the kind of orangey. So this island right here is
On the right side of
called
the
the
world,
Latchland.
Yeah.
Latchland Island. Latchland. And this is Rosecaster. This is where that rum came from.
That sounded familiar.
This is all Kalian. As you can see, it gets very, very close to Emporia. Emporia has an island here that I cannot remember the name of at the moment. That has a very interesting history, but not relevant here. So these are Kalian islands. This one is an interesting one as it is very close, and there have been discussions, we'll say, on a higher political level about
As an Emporia now looking at this, and I'm like,
this particular island, Rosecaster Island. It's rum.
being squished from both sides.
So yes, directly north would bring you up here. Also, it could bring you to this island that is theoretically owned by Ushesh. Again, this is
I don't trust that Ushesh.
the these
Or
here.
the Roddy up at the top.
It's roti. It's like the yummy food.
What does it say?
It's the eparchy of roti.
Oh.
So I won't go into the lore because I could, but essentially.
Will we ever find out?
Oh yeah, I mean I can tell you if you want, but it's the whole thing and it's not relevant.
That's
right
a Patreon
now.
episode.
Yeah. So, just keeping in mind all of these colors. It's not like modern day, and I know I'm saying this kind of obviously, but it's not like modern day where there's very clearly a line, and if you cross over this line, this is what they are city-states that have decided that this is what they own, but they have no real way of enforcing it except to if they want to get angry with each other, be like, you are encroaching on my land, and then they might set up, things. This is what. It's not official lines in the sand, basically. So.
That is bothering the fuck out of me.
So, large cities, and then they say that they own all of this, but they can say whatever they want. It's hard to enforce. So anyway, these islands are Kalian. You can go straight up. You could also go over here. You could go over here. You could go up there. It's possible you could also swing around and go down. But a likely outcome would be that you would go either from Yimari over to Lachland, and then over to Cassia, which is obviously allied with the Callian Empire, and then travel up from there. Or you could, each square is 100 or so. Where's my little? Does it say down there?
No.
I believe each square is 100 miles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then like 125. So about 520-ish miles away, you'll get to the Callian Empire. So, possibilities.
So really, they could be anywhere.
So they could be anywhere.
Great.
You all would know that north of Yimari is the Callian Empire. You're not necessarily, given who you all are, not necessarily familiar with all of these other places. Like, what relevance does it have in your day-to-day life? Not much. So,
Giving me something to think about while I work.
yeah. So there's a lot of different relationships going on. And I'm going to keep the gray out of your periphery. So, that's what you know. This is part of the Callian Empire.
I turn to the Lion Man. What now? You tell us that we are fated, we'd have a destiny. You gave us names and titles, fable titles. And what now? We are at a dead end. The Guardians are gone. The island is under attack by fucking horrible nightmares. What are we to do? What are the heroes of destiny to do now?
Cryon looks at all of you as you kind of face off against him as a group, this young group of folks.
I was yelling at them. I didn't say they were.
No, but you're all in the same boat. You're all
behind me.
children.
She's fucking.
Yeah, all these young kids, 20-something-year-olds, and then a 30-something-year-old, but still, what did we know at 32? He doesn't look... He looks nonplussed as he stands there and faces you.
Do one of those.
What?
Like when you're like you're breathing so heavy, like
it's
you,
an anime.
like your entire upper body is just up and down.
I did not give you any names. Those names were given to you from those far more powerful than I. I simply relayed them. I am a hermit. By choice.
Forgot about that.
I have chosen to seclude myself in the sleeping wilds of Yimari Island. I have not sent you on any missions. You came to me. I have helped you. I have helped you to find answers that have led to more questions, but I don't have the answers.
You have more answers than we do. You look at the sky and get answers.
I never claimed.
Use your magic now.
I never claimed that. If that's what you have inferred, I apologize for your misunderstanding. I am simply a guide. Whether you choose or choose not to continue with your quest, it is of no consequence to me.
Quest? What quest? What quest is this? We have come to a dead end.
You may choose to see it that way. Or you may list your actual choices. You cannot stand here on the beaches of the Wailing Coast forever. So what do you do with the information that you have? The Langers have been taken. By who? I do not know. Where? I do not know. But there are other questions to ask. Where are the monsters coming from?
I don't think we have the slightest idea on that.
They're
No.
being dropped.
Something's causing them. Like Iolite said, something's causing them to drop from the sky. Something's been brought here, sent here. We need to find the source of it.
Is it here? Or everywhere? All over the world? Is this another... There has been no conjunction of the moons?
That is true.
Whatever it is, I'm not sure what you mean by dropping from the sky. It seems to be mutating things that are already here.
It's whatever's causing the mutation. It seems when me and Cryon were on watch, something fell. Something's dropped down.
Wasn't the
There
way
were
you
splats.
the way you described it? I thought it was one of those things, like the things we fought that we ran from last time. No.
The Jeff Goldblum monsters.
You don't know. You heard, who was it? Was
It was
it
Kai
and
Kai
Cryon?
and
So
Cryon.
what you heard was something flying up high.
Alright,
A
there was
whoosh.
something
It was
with
flapping?
more with
Nothing
wings.
flapping.
versus-
Oh.
Oh.
wings,
For some
and
reason, I thought it was
then-
one of those things that the way you described, like how they were all like this.
No,
and they
you,
fall
that
and
has
hit
more
the
of a
ground.
buzzing, like,
Okay.
zzz, and they drop.
Even with the rat thing, it was like the fruit, I think, was dropped. Or there was a sound of
No,
the...
that was
splat?
rotted.
I think
That was like a
is
bunch of
found
rotted
it on
fruit,
the ground
Oh.
already.
and they came out of the brush.
That is, yeah, and so what you heard was like a splatting on the ground, and then it took like 10, 15 minutes, and then you heard at least what you remembered was the sound of the rats coming and eating each other into this monster.
But there was a splatting.
They did hear a splat.
Yes,
But that could have been something just.
when these creatures are being created, they're not natural. So something is causing it, the source. That's
I-
what we need to focus on.
That's what I said.
The highest point on the island is Mount Yimari.
Yes. Just many days travel from here at this point. It's not a volcano. Is it?
It is an extinct volcano,
I didn't know if it was like
or a dormant one. Yeah, you don't know if it's dormant or
launching like little monster loogies all over the island.
Well, I have a question for Chiron. In the city, the nearest city, would that be Moswick from where we are? The big city? We're here.
Yes, the only city
The only city.
is
Where
Moswick. It's
where's
the big blue
the
on
big one down
the
there?
east, yeah.
And we were here before. Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Don't knock that over.
Actually,
it's coming out of it.
Yeah, no, leave it. Don't touch this where my camera is.
Is this
And
Don't
point?
put it on it.
Like you're back in school.
Wait, you have a laser pointer.
I do. I don't know if it will show up. So this is where you were.
We're up there now.
I don't know if this is going to be a problem for my camera. This is the Whaling Coast.
Yep.
This is Moswick. You traveled from Moswick along the road to here. This is where Cryon is, approximately. The sanctuary, you don't know where the sanctuary is.
Where would be the best place to identify where this was made? And he would like tap the package where that, remember that knife that I had pulled out. Said it looked part Callian, part. Well, can't remember if you said Callian, Cassian, and then you said 10% something else
Like
Roughly.
from the island.
from the island.
It would be Moswick.
I myself do not travel to the city. But I would assume.
And your clan, Ayla, where are they from here?
More southern point.
So Mosswick would be on the way to your clan.
Yes.
As you said, we have hit at a dead end here. We have no way of knowing where they've traveled to. But we do now have some kind of information that we can bring to those in Mosswick. Tell them that the monkeys have been taken, not killed. So, people in charge will know any enemies that may want to take the monkeys. And if nothing else, we can get word on your kin.
Does anyone have any paper? Parchment. We need to remember the symbol on this dead man's arm.
Oh, I do.
Oh, very good. Can you draw that?
I like how you pulled it like an arrow.
Yeah.
Like, just imagine
It's one of those
huge-
novelty
Yeah,
pencils.
one of those huge ones.
Oh, my map's back there.
You have several pieces of information, despite feeling lost. The monkeys have been taken, some have been killed. They were attacked in their own sanctuary, which is not an easy thing to find.
So
There
you're
are...
thinking someone from the island is helping them.
Nobody
I do
knows
not
of
know.
this sanctuary.
Somebody did.
Cryon knew of it. If one person can find it, then another.
He gained their trust.
Indeed. I did.
Then it could be someone else that has been in here.
There are monsters, some of which, yes, they have been tainted, the creatures of the island, but others we have never seen.
How
They're
smashed? Sorry.
No.
How smashed up is that boat?
smashed up.
I don't know if we could patch it and then just sail the coastline down.
No. Like that is a smashed up. That's a smashed up boat. You'd have to get out too.
It's not like the
this area.
SS Minnow where it just had like one little hole. For some reason, they spent 20 years on Gilligan's Island.
No.
Even though that motherfucker could build a fucking
Radio
satellite
and
dish and radio in a car.
Boat.
You remember the later seasons where they had a fucking coconut-powered car?
You wanna leave?
Fucking love Gilligan's Island.
Would you want to leave?
No! Not with Marianne there.
So the
We just rather sail than
Monsters.
go on foot.
have been created or have come from somewhere. Your options. You could speak to Yimari herself if she'll see you. You can follow. And he just kind of looks down and shakes his head a little bit, but you can follow the path of rot.
That is not very appealing.
It may lead you where you need to go.
And how would we know we are following it in the right direction?
I don't know.
I
I'm gonna
think
have you roll a D8, please.
Oh no, we are all going to die.
Just one.
Mm-hmm.
5.
As you are, as Cryon is speaking and you hear him say the word rot, there is a moment in your mind where that vision that you had, Jesus Christ. So loud. That vision that you had in the hot springs flashes in your mind for a moment, and you You have that moment where like you just kind of like lock up. Let me see who would notice. Iolite, you would notice this. As Cryon is speaking, you look over and Kethra just kind of like locks up, like immediately after the word rot is spoken, and out of her mouth you just see she goes like almost cutting off at the very end of his sentence. You all see and hear. You just notice the change suddenly in her body language. A great darkness will fall upon the land, and all that was once green will wither and die. And then you just come back. Cryon just looks over at you. No real expression on his face when you say that. He just stops and looks.
Getting like, it's almost like you have like a plate in your head, or like people who have like a lot of cavities and they catch like stray radio channels in their head. You never heard of that? You've never heard of that? Some people, when they have like a metal plate because of an injury put in their head,
Okay,
they
very
can tune into the
specifically,
radio.
Pete and Pete
Mm-hmm.
on Nickelodeon. There was
Holy
that
shit,
Artie
yeah.
guy
mom.
that
The
had
mom.
a.
The
I
mom
can't
had a metal
remember
plate.
anything
Artie-
useful, but boy, do I remember there was a guy
Artie-
named Artie who could pick up radio
No,
signals.
it was the mom.
Artie,
Oh, the
Artie was the
mom.
strongest man
Artie
in the
was the
world.
strongest
Moved the
man in
house
the
like
world.
1 inch.
The mom picked up stuff on the plate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I am getting total Sybil from Harry Potter vibes, where like
Oh, yeah.
she like touches Harry Potter, she's like no, like all the echo in her eyes like fucking go black.
Oh, yeah.
And then she doesn't remember like, oh, did you need something, dear?
You do remember. It's like you lose control, but you're like stuck for a moment. Like you can, and the voice comes out, and you see that vision that you had, just a quick flash, quicker than when you were in the hot springs. That vision of this looming darkness.
But this is the first time she said this.
Right. This looming darkness in front of you that has this amorphous but coming together kind of feeling with, you know, that quick look of some faces you recognize, some that you don't, of your family in the village, like all turning and looking at you, and like the periphery shade of your companion standing beside you as you, and then it fades and you say the words.
Just having visions of the upside down and shit.
Are you okay? What did you see?
Wow. I saw all of you, and then I saw my home and the people that I knew. I don't know exactly what it means, but I know it's not good.
Well, one way or another, no matter what we decide to do, whichever direction, those in power on this island need to know the information we have. We know they were taken. We're the only ones that know. And if something happens to us, that information dies with us.
What are they going to do when we tell them?
I'm not sure. It's above our pay grade.
Cryon might have the right idea of following the rot. Has to have a source.
And what if that source is more than we can handle?
Well, then we run.
Yeah, we have been good at that.
But at least then we can tell Moswick what we've found as a source. And then they can plan ahead. You said something about Yimari. Is there a place that she speaks?
I have never sought out Yimari herself, but legends say that she is within the mountain. This seems a dire enough situation to warrant her attention. In fact, she may already be well aware.
Her guardians are dead and missing. I would imagine she is fully aware of what is happening, and yet she does not interfere. But legend says she is trapped in the mountain, yes?
Trapped. Stays
Clawing
willingly.
her way back to the heavens.
The gods and the demigods have their priorities. She may very well be trapped, or she may have competing priorities.
Ah,
Maybe you should tell her we're the heroes of destiny. She can't say no to that.
I do not believe we are heroes of destiny.
You said it.
That is what you
Oh,
said.
are you being sarcastic?
I am not a hero.
Did we just find our name?
The heroes of destiny.
Tell me that's not like the
I
most
feel-
1980s
I
thing.
feel like we're the zeros.
The zeros of destiny. Go, go, power heroes. You mighty fighting power zeros. That was a sick guitar riff in that.
She'll let us. She'll talk to us for sure. I mean, her island is potentially dying. I feel like I would hope she would want to talk to us about it, or someone. I guess I don't know her.
I have never spoken to Yimari. She is not my god. I give her offerings for the blessings of the performances and the beauty and splendor of this place. But I don't know. We would have to backtrack quite a bit. I suppose either way. What say the rest of you? We seek out a god, or we follow a trail of rot, or I suppose we go back to Moswick.
I don't want any of us. Of course, I don't want any of us to die.
No, that would not be a good day.
But if we do, if that is what we have to do, that is our destiny, others need to know what we know. We need to find a way to tell people what we know. The monkeys are gone. This was not done by a deity. This was done by humanoid hands. The monkeys were killed and taken.
Turn to Crayon. And how would you feel of being the one to deliver that message to Moswick while the destined heroes go speak to the god?
I will do no such thing.
No, there you go.
I have a friend of yours in my home. What I can promise you is to return to my home and give the message to your friend. If you would like for her to pass it along, just let me know what to tell her. That I am happy in my home and the life that I have chosen. And this is not my destiny or fate. Mine is what I have chosen to do with it.
That's fair. Maybe we could write a letter or a note. Let's see if she could deliver it for us. I think she would try to do so.
She is skilled, has higher chances than most.
Can't think of anyone better than the best hunter on this island to get through this forest.
Very well. Then we should write down everything that we have learned, all the symbols we have found on corpses, all the details.
Eldon's gonna take a few minutes and sketch the deck. He's gonna keep the actual one, but he's gonna sketch as detailed as he can on some paper, like a picture of it, and include that in like the packet.
A picture of, sorry.
The dagger that was.
Oh, the dagger. Okay.
And how good is his art skills?
Yeah, I'm gonna have you do that.
Okay, then he's gonna do this like a step away from everybody in case it's really bad. If it's like a stick figure.
They're
They're gonna be like, is that like a banana?
It's just a T.
Looks back, he's like, that looks good. Still good. That's gonna be, we're gonna go with just a dex.
Oh, okay.
Straight dex check.
Okay. Well, either way, I'm gonna be fair and say that was a 5.
Okay.
5 plus 3. So not great.
An 8.
We should send along the actual deck.
So he's actually like not gonna show everybody that.
Yeah.
He's away from everybody. He's like gonna crumple it up, shove that in his pocket. Never mind.
Theratrix, who was standing next to you while you were doing it, is like, that looks really good.
Don't lie to me, Theratrix.
Looks just like it. Look at the shading.
No,
It's my best hype man.
looks good.
It's a little like hers.
So you're not going to put in the picture of the dagger? Okay.
Perhaps
You could describe it
perhaps
with
we would
words.
just describe the dagger.
If you rolled really
I mean,
well,
is there a
he would've been
reason
like,
we're not sending the dagger? Just
We could send
asking.
the dagger back with them. I suppose.
Is that what everybody wants to do?
I mean,
That might be helpful.
It's like evidence.
That seems like something they might actually be able to help with.
Send the
if they've got
dagger.
the resources.
Their CSI department might be able to figure it out.
Send the dagger
he's
with
on
the
it.
bloody symbol.
You're going to draw the symbol as well on the...
The
Are
cloud
we
with
cutting
the
off
lightning
the
bolt.
skin of this guy's arm?
Oh, we could just, yeah.
We can
We'll draw
we can draw
a man
that.
with an X's for eyes and a sad face, and then on his arm there's
Was
a
it-
lightning bolt. And
And
a
I was
So,
on the bearded dragon in the
are
Wiki
you
game,
writing it?
like big
Yeah,
dumb
I'll do that.
dragon.
Well,
I'll
and
do
he
that.
drew
Yeah.
the stick
So
figure.
Iolite,
Yeah,
you pull out the paper and you actually start to try to write out this, and you are like staring at this paper, and you have like your little writing utensil, whatever it may be, and you like cannot like read. You are looking at this and you're like trying to put words down on paper, and there's just like nothing. It's just not.
Like everything we're saying, like she's like
I can't
writing
write it.
down.
You're
and, like, we're
trying
not
to, like, you
able
go to like write, and you're like, I don't know how I would even write this.
Can I draw the dead man with the X's for eyes
Yeah,
and the
you
thing
can do
on
that.
his arm? Okay, I'll do that much. But then I guess I stop.
What
Are
is
you
that?
all right, Iolite?
I'm not sure. Does someone else want to try? Maybe.
Writing it out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can
Slide it
everybody
to
read
Kai.
and write? I just also want to confirm. You all
Mhm.
were taught that as children.
Oh, I was gonna say, where does it say we can't?
You just confirm I could read before.
Yeah, you could read and write.
We confirmed that. I'm
Yeah.
gonna just like slide it to Kai.
Okay.
I'll start writing.
What does your writing look like?
Very formal, like traditional. Like,
Like
Like-
a
Loopy.
flare.
yeah, has the
Cursive.
extra, that extra little, any, like, where there could be extra little swirls and everything.
Hearts on the
Yeah.
ice.
Yeah, no problem.
And
That's
then
beautiful.
when it's all done, Kai has sealant wax, so he's going to use his prestidigitation to melt the wax and press a seal.
I grab her hands and I just kind of examine them. Do I see anything? Like any cuts? Is there visible
Boo-boos.
nerve damage?
Invisible nerve damage.
No, but as
Like a
you are like, you're holding her hands and looking at, I mean, like her hands are like,
Like
she like couldn't
that
do
movie,
it.
Idle Hands, where like the.
No, she like mentally couldn't do it. It wasn't her hands, but you're looking.
I'm looking at her hands because
You
there's
look
like
at her
when you-
hands, and you're just kind of like holding them and inspecting them, and then you also, looking up the arms, and then what you do notice is there's like, you see up the neck just slightly, like a crack in the skin, very similar to what you had seen when you all were in the hot springs. Like clearly there's a a crack here. There's the opalescent item inside, and then it was just slightly cracked, enough to see, but it appears, at least from what you've seen, like it's spread.
And then
And
I'd leave it in and just be like, Iolite, your crack is expanding. That sounded way worse when it came out. That is the name of this episode. Your crack is expanding. I gotta write that down on the board.
I thought that was for a super clever thing. That's what you said.
There's been a bit of a drought, okay? This is the best we've had.
I thought he was gonna say your crack is showing.
This is where Ben gets his this is his like self grandiose, like he thinks he's so funny when he says shit and then it falls over and you're like, okay.
I meant that super seriously, and it came out sounding not at all like I was thinking in my head.
What are you talking about?
And I just point.
Can I feel it?
Oh yeah. You can feel that.
That's not a good answer.
The crack has
big.
expanded, and yeah, it's spreading up. And also, you feel it feels a little bit warmer. And what you like as you're kind of feeling there's like this warmth coming off of the crack. And roll an intelligence check, right quick.
Okay. I'd like to use my inspired action because this feels important. Let's just
not be.
reroll. I'll take that chance. Okay, never mind. It's a 6. 12 then is the higher
12?
one.
Okay. You remember this warmth feels very similar to the warmth that you felt from the shard that you have in your pocket. And when you held it, when Cryon had asked to see it, and you felt that kind of warmth spread up your arms for a second, then you put it back. It's just, there's a warm feeling coming from the wound that you have.
Really quickly, I'm gonna take off my pauldron and look, or try to look. I guess pull my shirt to the side and try to see.
It's kind of like a soft glow that is there. Nothing even that can be seen outside of clothing or anything. You would have to kind of pull back and you look. What you also
Giving those shoulder fetish people a lot to like on this episode today.
I didn't know there were those.
Oh, there's a fetish
I guess
for
there's
everything.
a
There's a new one.
what you also notice is when you hadn't really paid attention to it before, but the last time when you were attacked by whatever those weird fly creatures were, when it had grappled onto you and was kind of pulling and everything with its long, spindly, multi-jointed limbs, there was a moment where it almost felt like this strange pressure where one of the hands had been in there, kind of probably more just proximity than intent, where it kind of latched on and pulled, and you had felt this stretching. But the two things together could be related, or it could be that wound, just as a result of the attack, has continued to expand, but the glow is separate.
Do we all just see this?
I tried to make it non.
Yeah,
I
you're all
tried to be
kind-
discreet
So you
about
didn't
it.
scream about her crack out?
No, I wasn't like, her crack is expanding!
You're all standing out on the beach, doing your own thing. So whatever you're doing, unless you're trying to be sneaky about it or quiet about it.
I wasn't, and I am obviously scared when I notice it.
Does it hurt?
No, it's like, it's warm, but I wouldn't say it hurts.
Kai casts detect magic, and as Iolite's like trying to look, does he see anything magical glowing?
Yeah, when you cast Detect Magic, there is a glow that emits when the pauldron is removed, and you can actually see a brightness that is very similar to what you have seen on the Bloodletter's shadow, as well as that strange gooey rot slime. It's very, very bright in the wound.
Did it not show up the last 10 times he did detect magic?
There was something
It's always been covered.
It's been covered.
I thought you could see unless it's a 1 inch of steel or something and
No, it's
2 feet of concrete, something like that.
I think it's a foot of earth, an inch, no, foot of concrete, 5 feet of earth, and then I think it's lead, or lead just needs to be lined, but it's not I see through walls or anything.
It's also
like
brighter now, right?
Yeah,
than it has
it's
been.
bright.
Kai, can I see that letter real quick?
that. I already sealed it.
Oh, all right. I'm just gonna take my book out. That was the book I had gotten with the constellations, and open it.
And you cannot read it. It's just looking at a bunch. It's as if you're reading any other language than the one that you know. You cannot read.
Iolite, is there something inside your wound?
I can't read.
I'm going to cast Healing Word on her.
Okay.
And see if it does anything.
Okay. Well, are you trying to heal a poison or disease?
I'm trying to heal her crack.
Oh, heal the crack.
I don't know. She can't read. And I'm not a neurosurgeon, so I don't know. I'm just my only instinct is to try to heal her in some way.
All right.
So 1d4.
So I think it's actually cure wounds that would heal the poison.
I wasn't going for healing poison. I was just going for.
No, I know. I was
whatever
just
could
trying to
do.
make sure that there aren't any additional items because you're not harmed. You don't have any missing hit points right now.
No.
Yeah.
I know it's a shot in the dark, and I just wasted a spell slot. But it was just so it's just 6 points of healing that I.
So you
speak some words and.
You let the words of Healing Word escape, and when your target, you look at Iolite, there's a slight glow of her whole body, just very, very faint, and you feel just a little tingle, but you're not harmed, so you don't see any change as the pauldron has been moved aside. There's no change in the scar, no change in the brightness of the wound, no change.
Read it now.
You cannot.
I cannot. I can't. When I tried to write, I couldn't write. And I can't read
Okay,
anymore.
Chiron. And, are you familiar with this? Is this part of whatever ritual you were performing?
He comes over and looks into, he looks down, but just leans forward very slightly to get a better look at the wound. And he looks at you. Have you shared any information with your companions?
Some.
I will not force you to do more than you would like. But if you all are to succeed, you must be truthful with each other.
That's fair. I mean, you've all seen this. And you were aware of the shards I'm looking for.
I mean, I was, they were not.
Oh, true. Okay.
Shards of what?
I'm going to take out the one that I... Actually... No, I'm not. I'm gonna put my hand... Yeah, it's small. It's in with my other rocks. The shard that's not that shard.
Yeah.
I actually reach as though I'm thinking about taking it out of my pouch, but then I stop myself. So when I was a child, I did a lot of stargazing, and one night something different happened. An unexpected, unpredicted meteor shower, I guess I would call it. And some things, stones, shards of something, fell from the sky and hit. And one of them hit me. And I'll, show it more clearly. And, I can't, it's been there ever since. Nothing heals it. I can't get it out. People have tried. And it's still there. And it seems as though maybe this is a wound that won't or can't be healed.
But you have been able to read and write until now.
I've taken plenty of hits since getting it, and it's never gotten bigger until now.
Has anything changed with it?
Not till now.
And something in the last day, anything that could be related?
She went down during combat, didn't she? Last session?
Yeah, I got hurt pretty bad.
Perhaps this corruption that we keep encountering is affecting it. And you.
It's possible. It's certainly possible. I'm sorry I didn't tell you guys sooner. It's just, I don't like it. I don't like being broken. And I don't like that I could break apart. And also everyone else who has known about it isn't here anymore. Well, anyone else who's really gotten involved with it, I would say. Didn't do so well. So I don't really want that fate for any of you either. It's sort of my problem, and I guess I'll figure it out.
Well, since we are seemingly intertwined by destiny, it is now all of us, and you will not crumble. We will not let that happen. We will find some way to fix this.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure we will.
You said you were looking for were you looking for those pieces? Shards?
Yeah.
I'm confused.
They're very powerful. The kind of powerful that people will go to great lengths to acquire. And I feel pulled to them, and I don't understand it, and I don't like it, and I don't want anyone to get them and use them for what they possibly could, especially if they have more than one. Where I studied, they the assembly was studying these, and they had a couple, and they realized that when they were close together, they were stronger and more powerful. The more there were, and in the closer proximity they're almost like drawn together. But the power and the magic is wild and not understood and not tamed, I guess.
The perfect thing for those who seek power to seek out.
Mm-hmm. And they did. They were studying them, and I mean, I wasn't... I thought, I was part of what they were studying, I guess, and I think I maybe told myself I was sort of like part of it, but I think I was more... There's a lot I guess I wasn't being told, and I was more a subject than maybe a participant. And they had some kind of breakthrough, and before I could be informed, I guess, of what that was, what they had figured out or understood about it, the observatory was attacked. It had to have been someone in the assembly, I think. I don't know who else would have known, or I guess I don't know who they were talking to, but someone betrayed us one night, and everyone was wiped out, except me.
Were you spared, or were you able to get away?
I ran.
And that's what brought you here.
Yeah. I didn't go back. I didn't check on anyone. I waited and no one followed. And I had heard screams, and I saw the people I loved slaughtered, and I ran, and I never looked back.
There's nothing you could have done. As much as it hurts, you did the right thing.
The bird caller is correct.
You say when these shards get close, strange things with magic. Have you seen, when you were at the observatory, have you seen any examples of what the magic can do?
Anything specific worth mentioning?
When you were there, you weren't part of all of the experiments, but the ones that you were part of, all kinds of things would happen. There would be... folks' hair would fall out in the middle of the room. One of the other assembly members who was tasked with working with you, their skin turned blue. There are suddenly one passed out once. Someone went flying and up to the ceiling, slammed, and then dropped back down. You all saw strange twinkling lights in the middle of the day that looked like stars, but it was the middle of the day. Some people lost the ability to speak for a day. Some people were not able to walk. Their feet turned flippers for a week. All kinds of random things. Some more dangerous than others.
Sounds like when you make a wish to a genie in a movie, but you're not hyper specific.
Yeah.
So they like twist it on you.
You say that you're drawn towards the shards. Do you believe that's because of the peace inside you?
I think so. I think they want to be together.
Do you feel that right now? Do you think another shard could be close by that could be causing your inability to read?
No.
You don't have that feeling?
Mm-mm.
Is it possible if someone got the shards, they could create these strange creatures?
I think anything's possible with them.
If we find Yimari, perhaps there is something she can do. She is a demigod after all.
I mean, if anyone might know, I guess she might. I think the gods might have put them here. So maybe, somebody knows.
Then I vote that we go to Yimari. So we can stop that.
Then I'll take the envelope, hand it to Cryon,
Takes it.
and be like, we would appreciate and have appreciated your help.
The suns are setting quite soon. I would recommend we find a safe place to hold up.
It would not be safe to set up camp on beach. We have the ocean at our back. We have full range of view to all the other sites.
We can't do that.
Then we also don't have a place, a direction we can run. We don't want to keep our back too close to the ocean, then we can't retreat.
We have 2 out of 3. 3 out of 4.
Not to mention what lives in the waters might not stay in the waters. They don't call it the Whaling Coast for nothing, I'm sure.
Until recently, there was nothing but fish in these waters.
But
you're right.
That was then, this is now.
We cannot be guaranteed of that. Then again, what safety is there on the island now?
We can probably assume there's something everywhere
Yeah,
that probably wants to kill us.
this is true.
Did we pass any clearings when we were walking?
No clearings. The clearings really would be you could set up somewhere along the beach, like in an area between where the sand meets the jungle. There are some areas where you could definitely figure something out.
Okay.
Where you could go in further and try to find something that's intentionally covered. What Cryon might do by himself might not work with a group of 6 people.
He's just gonna
plus-
sit up in a tree and
So
put his back leg up.
Somewhere in between would probably work nicely.
okay.
Gives us options.
So if you're gonna try to find someplace, let's do a survival check. You can roll with advantage, or 2 people can roll.
Somebody want to roll with me?
Whoever is proficient.
All right, let's
Proficient.
do it.
I have +2.
Who's got a full proficiency?
Oh,
No?
nope, not me. Never mind.
I have +2.
All right.
Leave it to the druid.
Me?
And Drew, do you have are you proficient in it?
No.
Do you have anybody who's proficient in
I
survival?
just am
No.
+2.
Okay, I'm half proficient.
All right,
So
you can roll with advantage because Eldon is helping you.
17.
Okay. It doesn't take too long for you all to find a place to set up. And as you're setting up, you, Iolite, notice there's one point where Cryon is just kind of looking at you. Make an insight. Roll an insight
She's
check.
doing one of these.
You lying bitch.
21.
As you're all setting up, it's just a quick moment, just real subtle. And it's almost as if you've been kind of avoiding his gaze for a while, and then it's one of those moments where like you're avoiding, and then you look up and he's looking at you and you make eye contact, and it's just for a moment before the judgment goes away. Just to let you know there's a very slight hint of, I wouldn't say disappointment, because that's too strong, but
He's not angry. He's just disappointed.
and not even really disappointed, just
He
like
expected better.
there's a
Disagrees.
yeah, like a hopeful, like you'll get there. You read it real quick, like not that point between disappointment and hope of like,
You'll understand when you're older.
but then just doesn't break eye contact or anything. It just kind of like melts away. Like it's just a general expression of like, I'll help you. And you all begin to set up for your evening's rest with the sounds. As you move further in along to the edge, you can again hear the ocean. And as the suns begin to set or finish setting, and you get this gorgeous view of the sky. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not obstructed, unobstructed view of all of the stars. Like you are facing out into the ocean. There is nothing to be seen past the rocks, the jagged rocks. You're all sitting there watching. You can see what you've gotten used to seeing, like random little flashes of shooting stars up there. You start your fire on the side just to keep it a little bit. It's still fairly windy, so you have to push it off to the side and just make sure, but so that you can cook a little bit of food.
Before you continue,
Yeah.
can I use Mage Hand to try to catch some fish to cook?
It's dark now. You have to be able to see.
I want my invisible hand just be like, got a striper.
Where you're at right now is not necessarily like the best fishing up on the surface. Like it's deep because it's so rough here. You'd have to like, the fish aren't hanging up near the top because it's just like constant waves. It's like deeper down.
We'll
so.
just lift up some rocks and grab crabs.
You can get crabs, yeah.
I'll do that.
All right, roll a survival again.
Eldon's gonna help like lift the rock.
Ugh.
Remember when like you were a kid and you used to
7.
grab all the crabs and throw them in a little bucket on the beach?
Yeah, it's kind of dark. I mean, it would be nice, but unless you're going to stay up a little bit later, which is fine if you do. I'll say that you can catch. Here's what I'll say: you can catch. You are out there with the two of you are out there, like catching crabs, and you're able to catching crabs.
Catching crabs. I'm gonna go up on that.
Out there.
And as
catching
you're
crabs.
like out there, separate from the group, just like walking along the ocean or walking along the beaches, you all hear it at the same time, although you are all separate. This just very quiet. Once you're calm and relax, the rest of you all sitting there, you just hear this like and this like symphony of various whales, like wailing, not whales, like whales.
Oh, I
Like
got
fish.
excited for a second.
Human
The
whales.
whales, the gnashing of teeth.
Darby whales here.
So you
The mage
begin
hand
to
grab
hear
one of them.
just
Yeah.
like
Cover the
layered
10 pounds.
7, like it starts off 1 or 2, then there's 10, then there's a dozen, and then there's just like, it's very faint and off in the distance, but As the night goes on, you gather up the crabs that you caught, just a few, and
Like the
head
idea
back
that we're
over.
catching the crabs and we hear that and we're like,
That relaxing feeling that you had just goes away as the night continues, and all night long. That's what you hear out on
It's like
amongst
in
the
the
rocks
rocks
and broken boat wreckage that you can't see beyond
Did we ever move
all
that
night
body?
long.
We
I
just
mean,
camped next to the body.
no, we moved ourselves.
Yourself.
The body is still where we dropped it.
And that's where we will take a break.
Spooky.